Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and we are going to go on with our Luke journal. And today I'm going to get the fabric out. I showed it to you before that I'm going to use for my cover. And take the clips off here where I glued it. And it looks like it did well. So what I'm going to do is take my fabric and just lay this over it and draw a line around it. Nothing too fancy. I go in these fabric stores and it's like a candy store. You look at all these awesome fabrics and this is a good excuse to buy some fabric. Use it for a journal cover. Let's see, will this be wide enough? Just barely. I think I did this last time. Okay, barely. I think I can get away with it, so I'm going to try. Okay, and I grabbed a piece of felt. I've got this felt I'm going to use up. I'm going to use it as sort of a padding just to give it a little nicer feel. So it's just not fabric and cardboard and all that. I also have in the past used a baby quilt liner. That's what it's called. I got it on Amazon. It's a huge piece of this kind of stuff. In case you haven't ever done a journal before, whenever you do something, you kind of want to wrap it around. And honestly, I probably should have done that with my fabric, just to make sure it's going to turn the corners, because it does take up a little bit more space when you fold it around something, and you want to make sure you've got enough. All right, and then I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac and tack it in place. I said I didn't want it hanging over the edge, but honestly, if it hangs over just slightly, it just wraps around with the fabric and it'll be fine. And then I'm going to take this piece of fabric that I cut and hope it's big enough now, because I just added a little bit more thickness to it. So I'm kind of pushing my luck on this, but I think it'll work. Probably should iron that, but I'm not going to, because it will stretch itself out eventually. Okay, so this edge down here is finished. Ooh, I'm just barely going to have enough. Okay. This is a finished edge, so I'm going to glue it down here. Okay, so before I do this, I'm going to do some washi tape in between here. So let me do that. I'm going to find some washi tape I like. I don't know if this Tim Holtz is too wide. All right then. All right, I'm just going to use some of these kind of generic. I actually think these are Tim Holtz, but just some kind of neutral colored. And I'm using this glue just to make sure the tape sticks. And this is just so that there's not cardboard showing. So, and then I'm going to move over here, and this actually looks. This is a wider one, so let me get a wider. I think this cloth Tim Holtz tape actually would be perfect here. So I just posted John. The book of John is out, and just put that out on Etsy. So that's the final gospel. So if you're doing the whole set, it's out there now. And every one is a little bit different. Well, of course, the words are different. The verses are different. But I mean, as far as the format of the journal, I've put different things in each one, so they're not all the same, because I didn't want them to be boring. So, and this one. Might as well do this because I'm going to glue paper over it. It might not need to be covered, but just this way it'll be done ahead of time. Okay, all right, we've got those done. So now I'm going to glue the fabric down here. Okay, and I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit and then I'll be back. Okay, took my clamps off here. And I mean, it's literally just been a couple of minutes, so I'm not waiting a really long time for this. I'm just wanting to let it set for a second. The corners can get to be a mess, so I just want to make sure I have a nice fold on those so they don't. And I actually kind of want to do that so I don't have a raw edge once I glue my paper over it. So I'll do that as I go. Hopefully that will work out. So I've got it pretty tight, but that smooths it out. And then we'll do this side over here. Now putting paper over this, which is the final step when we get this all glued, it's gonna be one more layer to seal it. There we go. Looks pretty good, pretty tight. Great, okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our inliner papers in. So find a paper that you like, and I'm gonna go look at mine real quick. Okay, I found a piece that I had used my jelly plate printing on. So I'm gonna use that, and let me find my small paper cutter. What I should have done is put another piece of washi tape there. But I'm going to do it now. I'm going to use this cloth tape because it's really thin. Ideally, it would have been better to have it under that fabric, but that's all right. Other one, this is a piece from the Stampington and Company book that I get. Okay, that works. Now, unfortunately, it's got some words here I don't like. It says extreme good luck. We don't have luck, we're blessed. So I'm gonna just probably put a pocket over that. Go ahead and glue this on. And I'm putting it just this side of my gusset so it doesn't have to fold and do any weird contortions trying to wrap itself around that. And this would probably be a good idea to clamp this. There's a pocket that kind of looks like it goes with it. All right, and then on the back cover, I can go ahead and take these clamps off now. And I'll tell you what, I'm having second thoughts. This is very thin, it's just copy paper. Because of this fabric, I don't really want it to cause any lines under this paper, so I'm gonna get a heavier paper. So hang on just a second, I'm gonna swap it out. So I'm just going to hold that down for a second, make sure it glues down really well. That is the cover, And so now what we need to do is stamp our title, and I'm trying to make all of these the same, and so I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before, which is to stamp the book of Luke on here. So let me get that out and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the book of Mark, and Matthew looked just the same. So I've got a strip of cotton fabric, and I'm going to go ahead, and I've got my ink, and these are the stamps I used for the big name and the stamps I used for the little words. And these are my acrylic blocks to put them on. And looks like this is, I mean, a reasonable, so in other words, I spaced this out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, counting the spaces, 11 letter spaces. So that would mean 5 on each side, 5 on each side, and whatever that 11th space is, that should be the center, is kind of how I looked at it. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that O on book would be the middle point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 on each side. So that middle letter of book is kind of where I started. Okay, I got my needle threaded so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. And I'm going to go ahead, this is just 3 strands, I think, of embroidery floss. And all I do is lay it on there. And actually, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to take a little bit off this edge. Fray this off a little bit. And I could take more, but I think I'll just stop and not cause myself any problems. And it's a little tricky, but over but the shouting at that point, right? And then you want to pick out a piece of ribbon or something to tie it shut, or sari silk or something like that. Hug and snug, snug and hug, whatever it's called. That's what I've been using. And then it's kind of sitting like this because I don't have anything in it yet. By the time I get it in, it'll probably be pretty full. So now I just need to find a ribbon that coordinates like I did with the Mark one. Kind of like, I feel like I need a dark one, so I'm going to do that one, I think. So enough to tie a bow and then wrap around it twice when it's full. And so about that much. Lay that. Got just a little bit left. Well, could have left myself just a little bit more, but that's all right. It'll work. Okay, so that's that. And that's it for this video. And we'll come back on the next one and fill it up. And that's pretty much going to be it. So see you next time. Bye-bye.